Sturm is one of my favorite weapons. It's really fun to me, but it's really not good, like, at all. Last season, I made a build that focused on it. Only issue is, it wasn't great. Sturm just is not a good weapon, and of course, it didn't have any subclass keywords. I don't think it has enough damage or utility to use your kinetic and exotic slot versus something like Wither Horde, or Izanagi's Burden, or just a legendary grenade launcher with blinding nades. There's just no reason to use it. Multiple year 1 exotics suffer from power creep severely, but Sturm is probably the best example of this, being that its exotic perk is reliant on the using double primary meta that was forced on us at year 1. And its secondary perk is just a worse version of a legendary perk with a similar effect. And to top it off, it has a catalyst that only adds to its stats, which that's still nice being that it gets a range increase on a 120 hand cannon, but it could be better, and this is something that a lot of year 1 exotics suffer from. And in this video, I'm going to walk through my ideas for Sturm and the basic philosophy for some of these changes that I'm proposing. Sturm was created in an environment where there was no special weapons, and power ammo was scarce, meaning using a primary to take down majors and dealing with most of your boss damage with a primary ammo weapon was just kind of how the game was played. That idea really doesn't translate as well anymore with the prominent double special meta. So now Sturm has a massive damage boost with no reason to have it. Is overkill for red bars, and it can't compete with specials for taking care of bigger enemies. Sturm should be effective against champions, mini bosses, and possibly a piece of your damage loop. Here's how we can change it. First order of business, let's allow Lucky Pants to buff Sturm's overcharge shots. Maybe not the full buff from Lucky Pants, but make it more in line with the buff Ariana's Vow receives. I mean, let's be honest here, 120s are already flat out worse with Lucky Pants than, say, 180s, especially Malfeasance, like substantially worse. Now that we have a hunter-specific buff that would make Sturm more usable, let's just make it better for everyone, generally speaking. Storm and Stress is a fun interaction, but what if we changed it? Instead of being Drang specifically, it said weapons with Together Forever. Reload this weapon and overflow a bonus damage round into the magazine. With this, we introduce a weapon mod called Together Forever module. Drang intrinsically has this, freeing the weapons mod slot up for like minor spec or something. These mods can even be a consumable if Bungie wanted them to. Maybe Failsafe could sell them, and on the weekend Zerg could offer them at a discounted price. Don't get me wrong, I love Drang, but if I could run a special weapon or an energy weapon that matches my subclass that isn't solar with Sturm, I may be more likely to use Sturm. And if my heavy weapon could be my ad clear like an LMG. Now let's tackle Accomplice. Kills with this weapon reload your energy weapon. That's what it does at current. Basically, it's just a worse sympathetic arsenal. So what if it reloaded all stowed weapons, and successive precision hits on a single target with overcharge rounds overflows rounds into your stowed weapons, with Together Forever from reserves. This buff would gradually overflow, so say it triggers on every third successive precision hit with overcharge rounds, it would load, say, 10% of the magazine and can overflow up to 200% magazine size. This would make for some fun gameplay loops. Launch a rocket, shoot Sturm 6 times, shoot 2 rockets, repeat this process. Or you just never reload your machine gun or your Sturm as they feed each other constantly, making better DPS combos for Sturm and more utility in the general game. And finally, let's give this catalyst more functionality. You know that new Kinetic Damage perk Bungie was hyping up before Lightfall? Yeah, Kinetic Tremors, one of my favorite perks. Let's put that on the catalyst. Make it trigger on every 5th precision hit with overcharge rounds. That way we're not getting it like every 6th or 7th shot that's a body shot or anything like that. They have to be overcharge rounds and it has to be precision hits. This would create a gameplay loop of dealing sustained headshot damage with primary ammo while loading your heavy and special for burst DPS. Every 3rd shot you reload your arsenal. Every 5th shot you output more damage. Pair this with a teammate running div and boom, you're the power couple of the group. Maybe precision kills could make a kinetic dragonfly effect to make Sturm more versatile against waves of enemies. But honestly, I feel like that isn't necessarily needed and doesn't really fall in line with Sturm's identity as a weapon for boss damage and major clear. And as a result of this rework that I've thought of, we have a primary weapon that is tooled to deal high sustained boss DPS. Kill champions while reloading your whole arsenal to further increase your total DPS. And hopefully a more fun and unique piece of your arsenal. If you enjoyed this concept or just something about this video as a whole, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Please just tell me what you think about this rework for Sturm, or what you would like to see changed in the game, exotic-wise or whatever. Also, if you check out that pinned comment down below, it contains a link to my Discord server, where we're planning on hosting LFGs, maybe some fashion contests in the future, and among other things. We're open to any suggestions you guys have for that server too. We did recently add self-promotion, but you do have to be a somewhat active member in the server before you can unlock that. But yeah, anyways, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.